Climate change is far and away the greatest threat we face. Climate change is a slow-moving train that cannot easily be stopped. It's moving us inexorably towards permanent crop failures, water shortages, mass migrations, regional conflicts, and above all, a mass extinction event. These impacts are for all practical purposes irreversible. But unlike a meteor hitting the planet, climate change is not a single day you can mark on your calendar. It sneaks up on us, one species extinction at a time, one ecosystem collapse after another. And feedback loops will ultimately cause the process to accelerate uncontrollably. The scientific evidence for climate change is overwhelming. Everyone needs to feel the same sense of urgency. But this video is not about proving climate change, rather a plan for what we should do about it. The current response is the Paris Climate Agreement. Each nation establishes its own emission goals to be reported on and reevaluated every 5 years. Unfortunately, this incremental approach is not working. Nations are overwhelmingly failing to meet their goals, and even if they did, it's not enough. The result is that we are continuing to kick the can down the road while climate change becomes ever more dire. While a number of changes are necessary to combat climate change, foremost on that list is the need to stop burning fossil fuels. And we need to do this with great urgency. Rather than just setting arbitrary carbon emission goals, we need to be focused on the end game. We need a date on the calendar when the last watt of energy is produced from fossil fuels, a date we will call the end of the fossil fuel age. To achieve this goal, each nation needs to draw up plans and give good faith estimates on when it can both stop burning and stop extracting fossil fuels. Some nations are blessed with an abundance of hydroelectric or geothermal energy, or climates that lend themselves to solar and wind, and so will have very aggressive timeframes. Other nations, through no fault of their own, will have much longer timeframes. Once all nations have made their estimates, it's time for cooperation. Those nations with the wealth and ability will need to pair with those nations in need of assistance. Once cooperative plans are drawn up, new timeframe estimates can be established, and we will finally be able to mark the date in the calendar when the fossil fuel flame will be extinguished. While the Paris Climate Agreement is well-intentioned, it's my experience that clearly defined deadlines are better for motivating progress. There must be an endgame. This single date on the calendar would serve that purpose. Life on this planet is far more fragile than we care to believe. This is a call to action like no other, and we will either succeed or fail as one.